You still got your strings tangled. Thought you'd be glad you got your memories back.
It was still a shock, though.
Yes. And perhaps if I had remembered sooner, they would have been of more use.
Adol?
This is just like before.
But why now?
Hang on, Adol! It seems worse this time.
Look! Isn't that the same light?
There's no mistaking it. It is the light that appeared when Shadowlord faded away.
This can't be happening.
But why? Adol! You can't go!
It's not fair.
This way, Crimson King! Quickly!
Aprilis?
How are you here?
It doesn't look like a trick.
Dad? What are you doing here?
You must hurry. There's not much time. Take the Crimson King over to the next room. There's also something I need all of you to do for me.
What is this place?
There's so many Aprilises!
I can't believe it.
This is the place where Zola first succeeded at making a homunculus.
That's right. You're one too.
The reason Zola turned to alchemy was so he could revive me, so he could revive Saint Rosvito.
What?
I'm sure you all have many questions, but our first priority is saving the Crimson King's life.
We can save him?
What's the deal with him anyway?
Normally, homunculi are born as children. That's why all of you had proper childhoods.
That's true.
I wouldn't necessarily call them proper.
But he was an experiment to create an identical adult replica of the original. And because of that, his body is unstable.
If we do nothing, then the Crimson King will disappear forever. Just as Shadowlord did.
Isn't there anything we can do?
There's not enough time to create an entirely new body for him. However, there is another way.
It's our first time meeting, but it doesn't feel that way. It's like you and I have been connected all along. You felt it too, haven't you? I envy you for all of your adventures. What a life. The danger. When was the last time you slept in peace? Why keep doing it? Why do you still want to be an adventurer? does. If you don't light a fire, it'll never go out. If you don't make decisions, you'll never be hurt. But you'll never be deterred. You'll keep going until your last breath escapes you. In you, there lies a hope that guides you, and everyone around you toward their dreams. I thought so. I have a favor to ask. I wish I could go with you, but I'm afraid I'm running out of time. Still, I can't let it end here. Adventures are still waiting for us. So I ask you this. Take my power and my soul. Take them with you on your journeys. Adol Kristen.
You're awake. Yes. It was Dr. Noah's first time performing this procedure, so he cautioned me of its risks. I thought it best to stay and be sure you were all right. Incidentally, I believe this is the first time we've spoken, Adol Kristen.
Well,
Where to begin?
Allow me to explain.
Dr. Noah.
The adventurer Adol Kristen and his homunculus, the Crimson King. Within you resides both of their souls. To be precise, you were originally one person, and now you've become one again.
Do you feel the Crimson King's consciousness and the power you inherited? So that's what happened.
A conversation between souls during fusion. That is fascinating indeed.
Dr. Noah is Zola's assistant, but he has since joined our cause. He was the one who fused both of your souls into a single body. Forgive me, but this was the only way to save the Crimson King's life.
no.
I thought you would be angry with me. You're a very strange young man. He looks to be adjusting well enough. Shall we begin preparations?
Yes, Dr. Noah is right. I was planning on telling you after everyone had arrived. And it seems that time has come.
Adol! You're all right.
It's good to see the procedure was a success.
I suppose introductions are in order.
That's right. That makes this the first time we've met, right, Adol?
I didn't think you could do something like that.
At least I've got something to show for leaving home.
Can't wait to hear all about it.
Long story short, you're the same Adol we've always been friends with.
Thank goodness.
Yes. My worries have been assuaged.
You didn't call us just for this welcome back party, did you?
Before I get to it, there is something I need to tell you all first. It concerns Zola, the one who created all of us homunculi.
About time you told us who he is, and how you two know each other.
That man... No, the alchemist, Zola, is...
He was a young noble who served Rosvita during the 100 Years' War.
Anemona.
You've regained more memories?
Yes. Some returned when I saw this room.
If Zola served under Rosvita, then they must have known each other a long time.
That reminds me. There was a guy standing next to the saint in that painting. Is that the guy you're talking about? He's just a kid now.
Yes. The 100 Years' War was also a proxy war between the gods. Glia had the blessing of Grimnir. Ritai was blessed by Luki. But the roaring flames of human war eventually ignited the realm of the gods. Divided between the two sides, a war of their own erupted. Ultimately, Grimnir and Luki both fell at the other's hand.
Is this the Twilight of the Gods from the Norse religion?
Yes. Because of that war, the gods that once blessed Glia perished.
That's terrible. Then what is the Grimwald Nox?
You said the gods used the Grimwald Nox to contain and purge the monsters.
Even without the gods, the Grimwald Nox still creates monsters from human emotions. So now, it falls on humans to eradicate the monsters born from them. But after the 100 Years' War, many Glians were overcome with grief. The monsters manifested from them could no longer be contained by humans alone.
What happened then?
That is when Zola intervened. After I was executed, he resigned from the military and returned home. He secluded himself and became engrossed in his research to the point of obsession.
So that was when he began learning alchemy.
But why did he do that?
Thought you were smarter than that, kid.
Papa wanted to revive Rosvita. He respected her as both his commander and the woman he loved. He sold his land and used his inheritance to devote his life to his research. He would often isolate himself in his lab for days at a time without food or rest. The outcome of his blood and tears was...
It was me. I was born from his work.
That's such a sad reason.
Yeah, I never would have guessed.
Zola then reappeared from isolation as an alchemist. He proposed a plan to the Glian royal family, who was overwhelmed by the Grimwald Nox.
So that's why.
Only beings of exceptional strength and skill are capable of suppressing the Grimwald Nox. They are doing the gods' work, quite literally after all. Zola's proposal involved the creation of a homunculus army. The Glian royalty, out of time and other options, accepted his proposal.
So that's how he built all of this.
As you know, homunculi are created by replicating existing humans. When the royal family sought candidates in secret, a handful of people volunteered. Yes. The volunteers were my comrades who fought alongside me in the 100 Years' War. You are the homunculi of the heroes preserved here in this lab. The homunculi who have been slaying the Lemiris in secret, maintaining peace in Glia.
And centuries of this conflict brought us to today.
Yes. If the homunculi warriors were injured or killed, new ones were created. Zola even transferred his own soul into homunculi in order to continue his research. Then he gave his warriors gifts that bound them to this land.
That explains what the curse is.
I had no idea.
Why were we likely adopted or given to orphanages then. Was that the case for all of our predecessors?
No. Zola and I raised the homunculi ourselves. But 15 years ago, Zola disappeared. Your predecessors had perished, and you were all much too young to fight. That is why I made the decision to suppress the Grimwald Nox alone. I had no other choice but to entrust you to the people of Balduc.
So you've been fighting alone then?
So then, what has Zola been doing?
Shortly before he left, he said he had discovered a breakthrough in his research. I've no doubt it's the magnum opus he was speaking of, and he's still working on it.
There's one more thing that doesn't add up. Where did you come from? Saint Rosvita was tricked by Bretai's army and burned at the stake. So explain to me how the hell you were created.
Kratos' right. Our bodies were preserved.
Papa can fabricate more than just objects and flesh. He can fabricate human souls as well.
I do remember him saying that.
My soul was the first prototype that he successfully fabricated. Using the doll belonging to Rosvita as a relic, Papa placed my soul into it.
Huh?
He did it because fabricating a soul was only the first step.
He needed to put the soul into something I held dear to learn more about my past. From the memories he learned from Anemona and a lock of my hair, I was created.
What?
Now you're telling us he can create people from nothing but memories and hair?
That's a lot of power for one man.
Right?
Now we know why Aprilis and the rest of us were created. But what about Adol?
It must have something to do with Zola's magnum opus.
I don't have the answer to that question. But Zola has a deep desire for Adol's copious experience as an adventurer.
Could it be possible that the strange monsters and primordials we have witnessed in the prison were designed based on Adol's past adventures?
You've got quite the fan, Adol.
I suspected that was the case. And if Adol says so, then it must be.
I'm worried.
Worried about what?
Isn't there anything we can do to stop Zola?
There are many things I need to ask him, and nobody knows where he is. There's also the matter of a certain event that's about to happen.
And what's that?
Balduc will soon be hosting its Victory Day festival for the 100 Years' War.
You mean...
It is an annual event. A day that celebrates Rosvita and the reclamation of Balduc.
About that time of year again, huh?
Yeah, I suppose we were too busy to remember. But what does the festival have to do with anything?
The scars left by the 100 Years' War still run deep through this land. Once every year, the Grimwald Nox becomes the more dangerous ultimate Grimwald Nox.
Even more dangerous?
Now that is a celebration I can get behind.
Victory Day is in 3 days.
We do not have much time.
Zola is a threat, but the ultimate Grimwald Nox is a more immediate concern. Before that time comes, you should all take this chance to return to the city and rest.
I think I'll do that. I'm exhausted, mentally and physically.
Yeah, we've all been through a lot.
I could use a night to let this all sink in.
I will investigate the Grimwald Nox and Zola's whereabouts. You'll hear from me if I discover anything. Until then, rest well.